and glorifies him, and is very grateful for this Vaishnava to give him sannyas initiation. So there is a little we can say a little extract of this lecture that he gave in 21st of October in 1968 in Seattle, and we can read together a little bit of this lecture, because Prabhupada explains how he took sannyas. It's a very, you can say also interesting, quite funny, and very interesting way. So, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj Disappearing Day Lecture by Srila Prabhupada. So, Shri Sachi Sutta ki jai, Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Radha Parisisvara ki jai. So, Prabhupada says, one has to accept the renounced order from another person who is in the renounced order. So I never thought that I shall accept this renounced order of life. In my family life, when I was in the midst of my wife and children, sometimes I was dreaming my spiritual master that he is calling me, and I was following him. When my dream was over, I was thinking, I was a little horrified. Oh, Guru Maharaj wants me to take sannyas. How can I accept sannyas? At that time, I was feeling not very satisfaction that I have to give up my family and have to become a mendicant. At that time, I was a horrible feeling. Sometimes I was thinking, no, I cannot take sannyas. But again, I saw the same dream. So in this way, I was fortunate. My Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada begins to cry with a choked voice, pull me out from this material life. I have not lost anything. He was so kind upon me. I've gained. I left 3 children. I've got now 300 children. So I'm not loser. This is material conception. We think that we shall be loser by accepting Krishna, but nobody is loser. I say from my practical experience, I was thinking that how can I accept this renounced order of life? I cannot accept so much trouble. But I retired from my family life. I was sitting alone in Vrindavan writing books. So this my brother insisted me, Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. This title was given in my family life. It was offered to me by the Vaishnava society. So he insisted me. Not insisted me. Practically, my spiritual master insisted me through him that you accept. Because without accepting the renounced order of life, nobody can become a preacher. So he wanted me to become a preacher. So he forced me through this God brother, you accept. So one thing, Giriraj Swami in one lecture was saying that after the departure of the spiritual master, one of the ways by which the spiritual master can interact with the disciple is through other disciples. So, for example, in this way, in this case, Prabhupada saw the end of the order of his spiritual master through his god brother, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. And because this god brother was very strong with him. You should take, you should take this sannyas order and preach. So Prabhupada here explains that, this was the order of my spiritual master through my god brother. So unwillingly, I accepted. And then I remembered that he wanted me to go to the Western countries. So I'm feeling now very much obliged to this god brother that he carried out the wish of my spiritual master and then forced me to accept this sannyas order. So this god brother, His Holiness Keshav Maharaj, is no more. He has entered Krishna's abode. So I wish to pass a resolution of bereavement and send them. So Prabhupada wrote a beautiful poem for the departure of the Vaishnava who gave him sannyas diksha, and he asked to all the devotees in the Seattle temple to make a little petition and to firm this petition and this letter to send to his mat in Calcutta or in Navadvip. So it's very interesting to see also the relationship between Prabhupada and his god brothers. How it was very. He was always very grateful, very an example, a perfect example for all of us to see how he dealt with them. And so this is another point. And then I was thinking, what is as I told you before, what is to take sannyas? And because we know that in Kali Yuga, the order of sannyas, like there is this dialogue between Lord Chaitanya and the Kazi. And Lord Chaitanya tells the Kazi that in Kali Yuga there are different things that are prohibited, and one of those is the sacrifices of animals, because there is no Brahmana that can bring life again to the animals, and then is the acceptance of sannyas. But why then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas? Because usually always give the example. So why did he took sannyas when in this script in the Padma Purana I say that is prohibited? You know this. He accepted sannyas because that's sannyas. The prohibition is regarded to karma and jnana sannyas, but not to the Tridandi sannyas, not to the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnava, the sannyas is just another way, a way to enhance, to serve more, serve the Lord more. So in this way, the Tridandi sannyas is not prohibited in this Kali Yuga. Although in the Padma Purana it says like this, but not the Tridandi sannyas. And why Tridandi sannyas? Because there are three sticks, and they are like three roads of punishment. Because the sannyas, the Tridandi sannyas, in three different ways, the renounced person in three different ways renounce this world and serve the Lord, which is with the words, with the body, and with the mind. So words, body, and mind represents these three sticks, and represents these three sticks. And the Tridandi sannyasas only think of Krishna, speak about Krishna, and use his body for the service of Krishna. And so we may think, but this is also, everyone can do it. Everyone, person absorbed in Krishna consciousness can do it. In fact, Prabhupada many times emphasized the fact that he was making a lot of time the example of Bhakti Yoga Thakur, that the sannyas, the real meaning of sannyas is to be Krishna conscious and spread the glories of the Lord. So in this way, we can understand that the sannyas order is something internal, but there is also an external point of view. In fact, the sannyas order is the chief, like is the teacher of all the other ashram. So everyone should pay respect to the sannyas. Even sometimes Prabhupada, when the devotees were in India, and they were seeing some Mayavad sannyasis, they didn't pay obeisances to them, and Prabhupada was quite angry. He said, "Why you don't pay obeisances? Why you should pay obeisances to them? Not because you accept their philosophy or you respect their ideas, but because the sannyas is the order, is the authority of the order, and the Varnashram Dharma is given by Krishna. So in this way, Prabhupada wanted his disciple to pay obeisances to the sannyas because of what the sannyas represents, and this one is a very interesting point. So in the life of Prabhupada, there are many things that brought him to take sannyas, although he didn't want to take it. And the main thing was that he was not satisfied of his family life, because he was trying to follow strictly the instructions of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. But their family was not helping him at all. It was like putting obstacles on his life. So what he did one day is he had the Srimad Bhagavatam copies in his house, and this was the culmination of the troubles with his family. He had the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the wife, she liked a lot drinking tea, and taking biscuits with this tea. And one day, what she did, she sold the Bhagavatam to take some biscuits for her tea nights, or whatever she did with it. And so Prabhupada, after many other stories, he just said, okay, no, I can't keep going on here. So he just left his house and he started preaching, and he started writing more, always more and more, because Prabhupada, even when he was a householder, when he was a grihasta, all the money he was doing, he was always thinking of printing books, actually. So he was taking care of his family, but the money he was printing books. He was helping his god brothers with the establishing temple in various places in India. So it was always his mindset. Also, although he was in a family, he was always thinking of it, and this made him already a very renounced person, of course. And so when then he had these dreams. He had all these dreams, and they called him to accept this order of sannyas. And there was one period when he was in Vrindavan. Prabhupada, after he left his family, after he took sannyas, there is a period when Prabhupada was very inspired in writing poems, and he wrote a very beautiful poem that explained very well his change of mind, where he understand now, I don't have anything more with my family, I don't have anything more with this world. And it's a very beautiful, it's called Vrindavan Bhajan, and you can find it on internet, of course. It's called Vrindavan Bhajan, and written by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami in 1958. Published December of that year in Gaudiya Patrika, the magazine of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. So it's a very short. It's short. I'd like to read one to understand, because in this poem there is like the essence of renouncing to this world and accepting the other world, the spiritual world. So it says, I'm sitting alone in Vrindavan now. In this mood, I'm getting many realizations. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money, so they are a fruitless glory. Krishna has shown me the naked form of material nature. By his strength, it has all become tasteless to me today. Yasyaham anugrinami arisyetta danam shanai. I gradually take away all the wealth of those upon whom I am merciful. How was I able to understand this mercy of the All-Merciful? Everyone has abandoned me, seeing me as penniless. Wife, relatives, friends, brothers, everyone. This is misery, but it gives me a love. I sit alone and love. In this Maya Samsara, whom do I really love? Where have all my loving father and mother gone to now? And where are all my elders who were my own folk? Who will give me news of them? Tell me who. All that is left of this family life is a list of names. Like the froth on the sea water mixes again in the sea, Maya Samsara play is just like that. No one is mother or father or personal relative. Just like the sea foam, they remain but a short time. Just as the froth on the sea water mixes again in the sea, the body made of 5 elements meets with destruction. How many bodies does the embodied soul take in this way? Its relatives are all simply related to this temporal body. But everyone is your relative, brother, on the spiritual platform. This relationship is not tinged with the smell of Maya. The Supreme Lord is the soul of everyone. In relation to him, everyone in the universe is the same. All your relatives, brother, all the billions of jivas, when seen in relation to Krishna, they are all in harmony. Forgetting Krishna, the jiva desires for sense gratification, and as a result is firmly grasped by Maya. As a result of past activities, he takes on different types of body. Absorbed in that dress, he remains forgetful of Sri Hari. Therefore, Maya gives him so many kinds of miseries, and although he bobs up and down in this ocean of misery, he still thinks that he is happy. Lying on a bed, suffering greatly, having been sick like a long time, I am very well today, he says, laughing. I get a laugh out of his feeling very well. This is the way the soul conditioned by Maya feels well. How many plans they have to remain well? But time and time again, nature destroys them. Daiviyesha Gunamai, that is the Supreme Lord's Maya. Try to understand exactly the meaning of their feeling well. No one is well in the whole world, but still, they are saying in this way Maya cheats the conditioned soul. But ignoring that he is being cheated, he remains absorbed in Maya. And although Maya kicks him, he will not give up his mistaken conception. Again and again, making plans, and again they are destroyed. Sometimes he falls on the dry earth and sometimes in the mud. In this way, the universe is filled with wandering jiva souls who finally, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, get bhakti, the eternal wealth. Gaining their wealth, if they can give up all other so-called wealth, then very easily he crosses over the ocean of samsara. There, on the other side, is unparalleled spiritual variegatedness. There he enjoys in eternal happiness and peace. The man says, there everything is formless, without special feature, like a kind of nothing. He is actually the storehouse of spiritual tastes, Rasovai Saha. The intelligent knowers of tastes serves him, becoming his subordinate Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, are those tastes, and the best of all, Madhurya, is the essence of them all. But in the spiritual world, all these tastes are relishable, whereas the material tastes are just shadow reflections and are all contemptible. One who worships Krishna is clever, but one who worships Maya is a pauper. Becoming a pauper, one engages in temporary pastimes without knowledge of the true relationships of things. He simply becomes bound up in Maya's knots. Arjuna and Duryodhana both fought in the same war, but Arjuna was the best devotee and Duryodhana died. On the battlefield, both dear and detestable, one who is intelligent will be able to understand. In name only, they were great sober and unaffected men. They were all unpeaceful. Desiring liberation, sense gratification, or mystic power, all had uncontrolled senses. The uncontrolled senses don't answer to the potency of yoga. How many yogis and munis there were, and always the senses remain independent. Without service of the master of the senses, there can be no sense control. They all return to material activities after a short term of peace. By the process of yoga, no one ever attains sense control. This is explained extensively in the Vedas and Puranas. Okay, it's quite long actually. I remember it was shorter, but the essence was the first part of this beautiful poem, because in the first verses he says, "I don't have now I here in Vrindavan I'm alone, and where are my parents? Where are my wife, my family? Where are them? They are not here." And he explains that all these relationships with the body are all temporary, and therefore they are not really the real relationship of the soul. So this is the main concept that I wanted to share about this renouncing the temporality of this world. And now Prabhupada in this verse completely give us this realization, and it's a very, very powerful reading for us, this understanding. And then I wanted to share how Prabhupada was a perfect sannyasi. I was listening for a class in Shutakirti Prabhu that had spent a lot of time with Prabhupada, and he was explaining that, as I told before at the beginning, he was very liberal with his disciples. But then what he did, when his disciples started to do ceremonies, yagyas, and were able to manage these things that before they were completely unaware of, he started like giving them the duty of, for example, performing the sacrifice for the weddings, and also he was very strict in his relationship with the other sex. For example, Shutakirti Prabhu was explaining that when it was the last period of Prabhupada in this world, and his sister was came to find him, and although he was very, very kind to her, because he really appreciated her devotion and she was a very, very great Vaishnavi, he didn't allow her to stay with him alone in the room, and he told Shutakirti, "Please stay with me, sit here, I'm a sannyasi." And then one day he tells the story of when in the room of Shutakirti, she was lying on the bed, and Shutakirti was, "Oh my God, what should I do now? She's sleeping in my bed." So he goes to talk to Prabhupada, and he says, "Prabhupada, your sister is sleeping in my bed, but I don't want to wake her up. What I have to do?" And so he goes to Prabhupada, said, "Call her here." And so Shutakirti Prabhu calls Prabhupada's sister into Prabhupada's room, and Prabhupada a little bit very kindly chastised her and tell him, he's a sannyasi. You can't do this. You please go please go somewhere else to take rest after lunch. So she was very submissive. Okay, and then Kirtan the next day after lunch and doing all the things, he went to his room and he found again that Krishna was there, lying there, and he went to Prabhupada and he said, "What should I do?" And Prabhupada said, "Oh, we are," because also Prabhupada didn't like to. He was a very independent person. He didn't like to follow what the others say to him. There are many wonderful stories about it. And also this sister was like this. She was very an independent, a liberated soul. So she did what she wanted, I can say. And there are many wonderful story that the disciple of Prabhupada can tell us. And one thing I'm experiencing, the more I listen for the stories, remembering Srila Prabhupada, all these wonderful remembering of the disciples, of how Srila Prabhupada was acting, how Srila Prabhupada was conducing his spiritual life, how Srila Prabhupada was always an example and always the strength of his disciples. The strength of his disciples is very, very inspiring. And I think this is what at least the devotees told me, that everyone should listen for these recordings. And Swarupa Maharaj makes a beautiful analogy, a beautiful example. When I don't remember exactly, but he says that this remembering is they are bringing Prabhupada to us. They are not different. We are associating with him. And one thing, if we want to really love Prabhupada and become the servant of his mission, there is a little anecdote that Swarupa Maharaj tells in his remembering of Srila Prabhupada. And it was the first time, the first period of the devotees in America. And Prabhupada was giving the first initiations of all his preaching period, the first initiation ever of disciples in the West. And Swarupa Maharaj was invited, but he didn't go. He didn't feel ready, so he stayed at home and he just typed some books for Prabhupada. And the next day he came to Prabhupada and he's saying, "Prabhupada, I'm sorry, I didn't feel I could take this responsibility." And then Prabhupada told him one thing: if you will love me, I will love you. So Swarupa Maharaj, after some time, had a realization that if I really want, in a certain sense, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, I have to love Srila Prabhupada. If I want his love, I have to love him. And so he understood that this is equal to all the relationships in this world, and he understood that he had to dedicate himself to Prabhupada, and not just expecting that Prabhupada went to him and did something for him, but him, through his service, Prabhupada would have reciprocated with him. So I think it was a very inspiring to listen for this realization, because the more we serve Prabhupada, we can see sometimes we go on Sankirtan or we go on Harinam, and we are very focused on it, or whatever service, even Pujari or whatever, we are very focused. We really do it with the right purpose, intention, and then we go read Bhagavad Gita or something, and oh wow, yes, this is it. This is the thing. So this realization of Swarupa Maharaj makes me think of this. And I remember the first time when I joined, the first months, and we did Harinam every day. And after coming back from Harinam, I just took the Bhagavad Gita, and it was like, oh my God, this is like, it's too much. It was like, I could feel that there was the thing, you know, the absolute truth was there. And so the more I think I realized that this concept of, if you love me, I will love you, is very, very important. And the more we listen of Prabhupada and what he did, his sacrifices, we just gain the strength to go out. Like, for example, I make my example, to go out on Sankirtan and keep going. Also, that if people are saying no, they are not accepting anything, but just seeing his sacrifice, we can understand. We have to make also as a little sacrifice to serve Srila Prabhupada and trying to follow his instructions. And of course, I'm saying this to me, but so yeah. So I think this is it. And I wanted to share something a little bit about Bhadra Purnima, because today is also this important day, Bhadra Purnima, and all over the world there was a campaign all these months to distribute as many Srimad Bhagavatam sets as possible. Every nation had a goal, and for example, here in France is 64, and 64 was the goal of distributing Bhagavatam. And this Bhadra campaign was started by Vaishnav Prabhu, which is the chief commander of the Sankirtan, ambassador of book distribution in the world. Is the most distribution from when he joined, from when he was like 16 years old, and always very, very inspired to spread the Sankirtan movement. And so there is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the 12th canto, 13th chapter, verse number 13, which says, if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So is is very auspicious today to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam and give it. It's it's a very auspicious day, and all over the world the devotees tried their best. And I can share a little bit my experience when I was in London, and there was this fire, especially by some devotees, of distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Distributing it like there was no other thing. In their phone, they had the Srimad Bhagavatam on the screen, and before going to sleep, praying to the Srimad Bhagavatam, and and meditating on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and having stocks of Srimad Bhagavatam in the temple. So there were like 8, 9 Srimad Bhagavatam all around the temple, and all around the altar, and there was this Srimad Bhagavatam Maria was going on, and the results came because they did their goal like 10 days before the end of this challenge, of this campaign. So with their sincerity, they were able. And also I can understand that it's all about desires, because every time I ask them, how do you do? Like, for me it's impossible to do Srimad Bhagavatam on the street like this. And they said, it's just all about desire, if you sincerely desire it. And I remember when I was here, I felt a little bit I had to distribute at least one Srimad Bhagavatam, because Maharaj was very inspired by that, and I wanted to at least try my best. And so on Radhastami, I just really started to think, meditating on it very, very, very much, and at least one went out. So, and immediately after these prayers, these strong prayers, I went out, and Radha Prabhu came with a very nice gentleman from Australia. He was a devotee, and very simple. Oh, Prabhu, would you like to sponsor a Srimad Bhagavatam? And he said, oh yes, of course. So we sponsored the Srimad Bhagavatam, and like after 1 hour, we found the devotee to sponsor it, to give this sponsored one. So it's all about desire, greed for.
And somebody took it also.
Yes. Which is one devotee who always come here every day, Paul.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a
French Bhagavatam.
Yes. So is all about the greediness that we cultivate on in general, distributing these books, but in general in our spiritual life to serve always better and satisfy the devotees. And so, and this is my humble attempt of glorifying Srila Prabhupada for his Sanyas initiation and Bhadra Purnima. So if you have any comments, chastisements, questions, comments, if you have something you would like to share about today, this auspicious day, you can please share something.
Did you not mention a third point? There was bhagwatam, Srila Prabhupada Sanyasa. There was something more we wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, when the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's brother took sannyas. In the it's a interesting pastime because the parents of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were very distressed because when a child renounced the word, is like dead for society, is dead. So for them it was like if his son was deaf. So they were very, very much aggrieved, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consoled, gave them how to say, when you give consolation to someone, he was very kind with them, and he told them, don't worry, I'm still here. So they were in a certain sense pacified by that. But then when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, then this was a very, very big grief. But as Prabhupada said in this wonderful poem, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells this to his mother, that he was renouncing to a small family to obtain the great family of humanity, of all living entities. So actually, this sannyas, the real renounced persons, they renounce this temporary relationship to reestablish their relationship with Krishna and all living entities. So the parents think that their sons are going to die, but actually they are going to take a better life. So yeah, it was just a little. Would you like to add something? Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Great.
Yeah.